Right, so we're here with Jeff, who's going to show us the MPC X. Jeff, this is something of a labour of love for you, isn't it, the MPC X?
Absolutely. We've been working on this for 3 years, and we feel very, very strongly that this is the sort of thing as a company that only we can do. And by that, what I mean is we've got an absolutely fantastic 10-inch multicolour touchscreen here. This is on an audio track, and we've got pinch to zoom gestures. I've got swiping. We've got inertial scrolling on here. All of the things we're used to from our iPhones, our iPads, those sorts of gestures are on here, and they're so sensitive and it's so responsive and so easy to use. Other things we've got will. If you have a look around the back, I know you can't see this. We've got 8 analog outputs. We've got 2 microphone preamps, further line inputs, dedicated phono inputs, and on the front, we've got 2 instrument inputs and 2 foot switch inputs. So if you're trying to track something like a vocal, put your microphone in here, switch the phantom power on. We've got hardware monitoring via this knob here, so you can balance the output of what's coming from your MPC with the input in your headphones, track a great vocal. Other typical stories, if you're an instrumentalist, plug your guitar or your bass in the front. We've got guitar amp simulation plugins inside for you to monitor through.
Okay.
So when you're recording your audio tracks, easy to record a guitar performance, a bass performance. And yeah, if you're a DJ, turntable inputs on the back, and yeah, go straight to sample record, sample your record, and then get into editing it on the pads.
So we've got the MPC pads as you would expect, and also some, it looks like the knob area has got some OLED upgrades. It looks like you've got scribble strips going on here as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on there?
Sure, yeah. I mean, here we've got 16 capacitive Q-Link knobs, so they're touch sensitive. The screens are OLED screens, really bright, really clear. They give you instant feedback of the parameter that you're adjusting and the value that it's set to. Okay,
great. And so we're looking at this being an MPC for the musician that might not have used an MPC before. It might be somebody, a singer-songwriter can use an MPC, now they can record into it, plug the guitar in, do all that kind of thing. That, I mean, it's outside of the ordinary reach of maybe what people think of an MPC as doing. Is that a fair assessment of?
Absolutely. So if you're a singer-songwriter, we have all of the I/O for that sort of thing, but it goes even further than that, Will. So just here, if you look at this, we've got a dark energy module here. On the back, in terms of when we're talking about our I/O, we've got 8 CV outputs on the back. So we have, obviously the incredible sequencing engine of MPC in here. You can combine 128 tracks, all of any length that you want. Move that to your modular gear via the 8 CV outputs, and just pull it all into your MPC workflow.
So it's a centerpiece then to a studio of any description, really.
Absolutely, and I could keep talking about the I/O for absolutely ages.
But let's just see what it does. Do you want to give us a demo?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay, so one of the engineering solutions that we came up with for MPC is to make sure that all of the features that we have in the desktop software are actually in the standalone unit. So we really have the power of a DAW inside this box, and every time we add something to our MPC software, we can easily unlock it in the standalone. And nowhere is that probably more apparent than within our audio tracks. So here I've got a demo project that ships with the unit. I've got 3 audio tracks here. I'm going to come to this track, and we have at the top our familiar tools. So here I've got my zoom tool, my pointer tool, and other things. I have here scissors tool for putting in edits, a razor tool for removing regions, and it's so easy to do. The screen is so responsive, it takes me no concentration. I've also got a mute tool, so if I want to try out different things in my arrangement, it's as simple as muting different regions. And then if I just come back here, let me show you some other things. So for example, if I select this region, my region parameters area down here comes alive, and I can do all of the things that you're used to doing in a DAW, and it's so responsive. So things like region level. Watch how quickly this redraws. Any region, I can change the level of that region and the UI updates so quickly. Other things, in the same way as in many areas of the MPC, you don't have to worry about tempo anymore. So we've got a real-time time stretching and pitch shifting engine inside the audio tracks. When you record an audio track, it can be automatically warped to the sequence tempo, so you can freely adjust the tempo afterwards. And every region can actually have its own pitch. So I could set this region to be up an octave. I could also change the duration of this region to stretch it out or compress it. I could reverse this region and do many other things, like here are my fade-in parameters, here's my fade-out parameters. So all of the things you're used to on a desktop and more we've got inside the unit, and it's so responsive, and you can see it's so easy to use as well. In terms of audio recording, it's really simple. It's the language that you're probably used to. Record enable button, input box here. If I come here, if I choose input 1, say, for example, I might plug a guitar into input 1 on the front here, come to my effects section, add a guitar amp simulation plugin. So if I just come down here, here's my guitar amp simulation plugin. And now I've got my monitor options. I've got monitor off, monitor in, and monitor auto. With monitor auto, we'd be listening to the guitar through the effect whilst we're recording. Other things, let me show you a few things about the control surface. So I'm just going to load a different project. So here I'm going to load this Deep House project. So we've taken the idea of a studio being an instrument and tried to expand as much of the opportunities for interaction on an MPC as we possibly can. So if I just hit play, adding an effect is as simple as this. I go down to my XY effects mode, I press this to add an insert effect, and then instantly I've got a beat repeat effect straight away on this audio. If I tap the setup box here, I've got different effects. So let me go down here and just pull out a manual flanger and choose that effect. And there we are. Straight away I've got a fantastic manual flanger effect. But it doesn't end there. There are so many more opportunities for interaction on the control surface. If I come across to this Q-Link section here, you can map any of these Q-Link knobs to any parameter within your project. So for example, here's a low pass filter on my mix outputs. Here's a high pass filter on my mix outputs, reverb on the program, delay on the program. So any parameter you want to map in the whole MPC project is available on the Q-Link section. And we've got this great OLED feedback here. So in terms of incorporating your modular gear now into MPC, we've got 128 tracks with which you can record pitch and gate into the sequencer. Every track can be different lengths, and you can mute and unmute those tracks so easily to create an arrangement.